Hey guys, how's it going? Would you like to know something funny about my creeping up intro? Is that I originally used to literally squat all the way down to the ground and like pop back up because I thought I had to, and only like recently did I realize I don't have to bend down that much to just get out of frame, and then I can just slowly rise back. Because I used to jump all the way down and pop all the way back up. So I'll like knock off my balance, and like it was just always a mess, right? But anyways, today, well, first off, this is Judas ASMR. If you don't know me or you're new here, I do a lot of yapping. I literally just make a lot of just soft-spoken ASMR videos about me talking about whatever I feel like talking about, whether it's anime, gaming, whether it's just yapping about like my day, story times. I like to do a Reddit stories. What is it called? I like to do a Reddit stories series as well that, you might see some things from. So yeah, I just like to do a little yapping. I like to talk. I like to do it soft spoken for people who want to relax and kind of, wind down for bed and things like that. So today we're going to do a gaming related video, a gaming news related video. And I wanted to talk about the cool stuff that Valve has going on. We're going to have to do some editing in this video to pop up some pictures for you in different places. Fun fact, I'm not a huge fan of editing, but if it makes sense for the content of the video, then I'll do it. Then I'll do it. Then I'll do it. So Valve, not too long ago, by the time this comes out, it might be a while from now, but not too long ago, Valve unveiled 3 new devices. They unveiled the Steam Machine, they unveiled the Steam Controller, and they unveiled their VR headset, their standalone VR headset. This is wild and crazy. If you've watched my gaming history video, you know that I do own a Steam Deck, and I think it's one of the best devices ever created. I just think it's really cool, like the things that it can do. You can tell Valve put a lot of thought and effort into making it and trying to make it this really cool thing, And so, like, I'm excited to hear about anything that Valve is working on or trying to come up with. So it's so fascinating. One, I want to talk about the VR headset first. I've owned an Oculus Quest. I don't have it anymore, but I've owned an Oculus Quest 3. And it's a cool little device. It's fun VR. And more importantly, it's one of the stand-alone versions where you don't need to connect to a crazy expensive computer to make it work. It's just standalone. You can play VR chat. You can play games. You're not tethered to anything, right? So the fact that Steam is just like dropping a competitor, like a standalone VR competitor, is like crazy to me. And like, yes, I know like the Apple Vision Pro exists, but I wouldn't really consider that a like gaming headset. It seems like Apple wanted that to be more of a like a power user type thing, like for like, oh, you want to work on a bunch of different things for like a meeting or something like that. That's at least the vibe that I got from the Apple Vision Pro. It's also too expensive. So yes, there's technically more than just the Quest, but I don't think theirs was meant to be like a, gaming thing. But anyways, yeah. So like that, the fact that they're just dropping a standalone gaming headset just out of the blue, like that's crazy to me. And I've also seeing a lot of like YouTubers get hands on and like be able to use this device, is that they're trying to give Oculus a run for their money. They might also give the consumers a run for their money because it seems like it may be kind of pricey, a little expensive. We're not sure yet. We haven't gotten official numbers yet, right? So we're still kind of playing it by ear. The Steam controller, I'm going to put pictures, I probably already have, but I'm going to put pictures everywhere of these different things. The Steam controller is very cool. I think it's very simple. Like it literally just looks like a Steam Deck. It literally just looks like a Steam Deck. So it's going to be a traditional like handheld controller, kind of similar to like an Xbox, but it's going to have the these trackpads. It's going to have these trackpads on it. And the reason that's going to do that is because some games on Steam require mouse and keyboard, right? They don't have controller input. And these trackpads make it so that way they kind of operate like a mouse. And so you can use that. And it's like this, okay, now I have access to playing these games without needing a mouse and keyboard, which is like so cool, right? So it literally just looks like a normal controller, but with those two trackpads on it. It does make it look a little bulky. So I'm very curious to see like what the actual like specs of like the weight looks like having so much going on. But we'll see. I'm sure that's probably going to be $70-$80 because that's just kind of standard controller pricing. I think the PS5 controllers are like between 70 and 80. Xbox controllers though, they try to keep things lower than everybody else in the competition. Like for Black Friday, they were selling brand new Xbox controllers for like $40 or $50 or something like that, which is not, it's pretty cheap. So Xbox, they like to try to keep things affordable when it comes to their controllers. But I'm sure the Steam controller is going to cost closer to the PS5. That's 70 to 80. And I saved the best for last, the Steam Machine. Okay, so first I'm going to put a picture of this thing up somewhere here. And this thing is like a little square box that's like, it's relatively small. I think you could technically say that it's smaller than an Xbox Series S, like the small white one that looks like a book, like the size of a book. And so many people have two questions. One, they want to know the price of this thing. The second thing they want to know is, who is this for? Now, I want to give my opinion because I do a lot of that on this channel. I want to give my opinion. So the reason that people are asking this, for people who might not be familiar with what they're trying to do, what Steam's trying to do with the Steam Machine and things like that, they have a device that is meant to be as easy to use as a console. So you plug it in, you take a HDMI cord and you plug it into your TV, you grab your controller and you play it just like you would a console. But here's what's so fascinating about it. They are also bringing over the PC integration from the Steam Deck. So like you're going to have a full operating system like on a gaming console. It's like you can be playing your games, plug it and play like a console, but then you can switch it over to PC mode and then you can surf the web on Linux. You can download things, you can mod games like on through the files. Like it's like kind of this best of both worlds, right? And people have been kind of saying, well, if you want a PC, you would already have a PC, right? But if you want a console, then you would already probably have a console by now. And I think that's a fair judgment. Like it does exist kind of like in a weird like middle ground. But here's my assumption. Okay, here's my thoughts. Steam has already cornered the market for PC gaming as far as the storefront, right? When you have a PC and you want to buy games, 99% of the time, you're going to use Steam. And that's not because they have a monopoly, because there's tons of other places you can buy games, right? Like GOG, Indiegogo, the Epic launcher, the Xbox launcher. There are plenty of other places you can buy these games. And yet most of games bought through an online storefront are from Steam. That's because Steam is just the best. Steam, it works the best. Like it runs the best. It feels the best. Has the best UI. Like it is just the best option. And so you naturally use it, right? And it's funny because they did a study where they asked a lot of like CEOs and stuff of different companies. And like, I think it was like 70% of them agreed that Steam had a monopoly. It's like, well, it's not a monopoly if there's plenty of competitors. It's just that Steam makes the best product. They're not so, not territorial, predatory. They're not constantly trying to steal your money. They just gave you a place where you can buy your games and where you can play them, right? I think we're seeing this thing. I think why so many other companies attempting to make a gaming storefront are failing is for the same reason why online streaming has gotten really dumb and confusing. It's because you used to have just Netflix, right? And you would go to Netflix and you would watch any and everything. But then all these other companies started wanting to get a piece of that pie, piece of that pie. And so what they did is they started creating their own streaming platforms. Then you had Stars on Demand. Then you had Disney Plus. Then you had, Peacock. Then you had Plex. You had all these different streaming services. And all these companies have a lot of money. And so what did they start doing? They started trying to buy properties off of Netflix to put on their, little place. So like, oh, you want to watch Friends? A random show like Friends? Oh, you have to come to Disney Plus to watch it now. Or like, oh, you want to watch this random old show? Oh, you have to find the random streaming service where you can watch it. And like, that's worse for the consumer. Because now we no longer have like a place that we can just go that just has everything, right? We have to diversify and buy multiple different, of these dumb like streaming things and stuff like that. Just like hit the mic stand. Hopefully you didn't hear it, but you have to diversify into all these different like places where you have to like, I want to watch Friends, so I need Disney Plus, or I want to watch this, so I need Netflix, but I also want to watch this show, so I need HBO Max. Like you're just like mixing out between all these different things, and it just makes it a worse experience overall, right? And that's something that people have tried to do with Steam. Like they've made their own, like, the Epic Game Store. They've tried to pull games and put them exclusively on these other services. So you have to get certain launchers to play certain games. And just like it doesn't feel good and it's not fun for the consumer on like the streaming services side of things, it doesn't feel good and it's not fun for the consumer on the gaming side of things. So nobody likes it. So what? Most people still just go to Steam. Unless they have to use a different launcher, they just use Steam, right? So that was kind of like a long rant about, storefronts and streaming services. So what does all this mean, right? Like what does all this mean for the Steam machine? I do not think that Valve is trying to convert PC users over to the Steam machine. And I don't think that Valve is trying to convert console users to the Steam machine. I think the reason that they built the Steam machine was to kind of cater to those people who want a little bit of both, right? Like say you're a gamer, you've had an Xbox all your life and you want to move to PC, but you don't have $2,000 to drop on like this crazy PC rig. And so you look through the market and you're like, man, what can I get? And you're like, oh, this Steam machine thing like seems pretty cool. Like, oh, it's a PC. I get to play Steam games, but it's also like a console. Like, oh, I'll just get that. Like, I don't have the money for a $2,000 PC rig. You are a PC gamer, and this is something I hear all the time from PC gamers. I've even felt it myself, where you get home from a long days of work at like your office job, or if you're a cashier, if you're you work at a bar, wherever you work, and you're constantly dealing with like a computer, you're constantly dealing with a teller machine, to make payments and stuff like that. And you get home and then you don't want to sit at another desk, you don't want to sit at another desk once again to play video games. So I think there are going to be people on the PC side who are going to, if they feel that way strong enough, they're going to get rid of their PCs and they're going to get a Steam machine, right? So I think it's just like, there are people that the Steam machine is for. Like, I don't think Valve is trying to convert people. I think they're just giving an option for people who want it. And like, that's important, right? Because look at how PC gaming has changed over the years. More and more people own PCs now. Like even people that normally would only ever own a console, they're buying pre-builts. They're buying these PCs, these expensive PCs. And so who's winning when people buy PCs? Like Steam's winning, because most people are going to buy their games through Steam. So like they've already cornered that market and they're continuing to win in that market every time a person goes to PC. And so Why not make a device that kind of eases the crossover for people who are wanting to go from console to PC, but they don't want to get a $2,000 PC? Why not create a device for people who maybe want to get rid of their PC, but still want to have access to their PC games? Like, I don't know. I feel like they know what they're doing. I think it is a genius, plan, personally. So that's just my opinion. The second thing people are curious about is the price of the Steam machine. Like, how much is this thing going to cost? They've already gone on record saying that they're going to be pricing it more competitively to PCs and not competitively to consoles, meaning that it's going to be on the pricier side of things. I think if they can lock in an $1,000 or less price tag, I think this thing could really be a hit, right? Because $1,000 is very expensive. But if you want like a really good PC, you're paying $2,000 to $3,000. So if you could get something that can play most games like comfortably, especially if you don't play a lot of like the AAA titles, which I feel like people less and less are doing anyways, because AAA is kind of dropping the ball and indie is coming in and sweeping up. I think like this is going to be the perfect machine for you at that price point, right? It's going to be ease of use, plug and play. You're going to have access to all the same PC capabilities. I just think, if they price it correctly, like Valve, they could have a hit on their hands. That's just my opinion, right? I'm very curious to see what the prices of things are going to be actually looking like once we get a look at them. I'm assuming it's going to be next year. I think they said they're going to be releasing for pre-order early next year. So once they drop a price, I'm going to come back and I'm going to yap again and tell you what I think about it. So there's that for right now. But yeah, I think that's everything. I think that's all my yapping. ASMR's biggest yapper right here. So thank you all for coming and listening to my yap. Let me know what you think of the Steam machine and the Steam Deck and what Valve is doing, what you think their plan is, if you feel so free to do so. So yeah, thanks. I'm going to catch you guys later.